Welcome in everyone. This is a little library that I decided to create using absolutely no custom content and zero kits. The reason why I want to emphasize that there's no kits is because there's a library kit that I keep on telling myself I want to get, but I've never purchased a kit in my entire life, and I just don't see how worth it they are, so I wanted to challenge myself to make this library and see if it really is something that would have not been possible without that kit that came out. While I wasn't really sure what I wanted to go for, if I wanted it to be a very modern or a very I'm not great with words, a very older style library. I had a few inspiration picks that you saw in the beginning, and while I didn't want to make anything that was exactly that, I did know that I wanted it to be smaller because for me, smaller means cozy, and cozy means comfortable, and comfortable is what libraries are. So that's what I'm kind of doing right now, just figuring out what theme I want to go with it. I think at this point I was still thinking modern, and a bunch of these things that are out currently end up being swapped out for something a little different. Now, this build did take me about 2 or so hours, and I took a few breaks in between just because I got really annoyed at myself for not knowing where to go in this build. I just kind of wasn't sure what theme I wanted, and it took a little extra longer. I moved a lot around. Right now I'm just trying to make a cozy exterior area where people can like sit down, read their books, relax, just a community space. As for upstairs, I did know that I wanted to have a tiny little bathroom, which is that room right there, and then a little computer room so that people had a place for technology and all of those good things, but still had the main library downstairs, and then that hallway there ends up turning into kind of a game area. I usually go with just the most basic light, and I've noticed that while watching over my builds for a million times during editing. So this time I decided that I would add like cute lights that had different temperature, like cool warm lights, see what I liked, see what went with the build, and go from there. I did want to try and mix match as many of these different bookcases as possible, so right now I'm just kind of seeing what works together, what has different colors, and then figuring out from there where I want the windows. But I did end up using a lot of stuff from both the Spell Witch bundle and the Discover University, so a little bit of everything. I didn't really have a budget or I couldn't use this item or this pack, so I apologize for anyone who is a base game player. I did want to make sure that I had an area for people to sit down and kind of enjoy their books. So what I ended up doing here is putting those little chairs, the Rakatan chairs, and then just some cozy books and things on the shelf behind it. This was the first room that I completed head to toe, but I feel like it was really necessary because going into this, I didn't know exactly what this library was going to look like. I had an idea, but I didn't know if it was going to be something completely different, and the warmth of this room really just kind of kept me in a direction of what it was supposed to be from the start, and I just kind of I get lost in everything because I always forget what I can use and use the same things in all of my builds. So this was a really fun library to make. And don't worry, those tapestries end up getting switched out for windows because natural light is something we need more in this build, especially with no windows right now. While I know this isn't perfect, I did want to have a little librarian seat right in the front. I know it probably won't be used for that, but I wanted a place where I could pretend people are checking in and out books and asking questions. And I originally thought that I'd make a little kids area in the front. Ended up scrapping that all together, so ignore what's gonna happen here once you start seeing me put down some cushions on the floor. So that was around the time where I got really frustrated with where I was going with this build, and I had to take a little break. That's what you kind of saw happen there, is I had to take a second to look at some of my references and really think about where I wanted this library to go. I still tried to make the kid area here for a bit longer, and it looked terrible. I'm sorry. Maybe someone else can make it work. Maybe I needed to make the library a little bigger, but it just was not the vibe. I did decide to raise the ceilings, and honestly I think that was such a worthwhile decision because once I saw these new doors, I was like, yes, this fits the room I made completely. It's beautiful. And then I made sure that that was the door that I wanted, and I think I ended up switching it over to this door, but it has the same style to it. I can't remember which pack. It's the science pack. The one world where you can do a billion things. It's a cool pack. But then I realized I need to switch out this back door too, I think, here in a moment. But if you were ever a book kid, you wanted to sit in one of those windows. I don't know about you, but if I could sit in one of those windows with like a million pillows, I'd be the happiest person alive. So I had to add it into the library. I don't know if it fits completely. You can tell me in the comments, but it was a necessity. I needed to have that stained glass window seat area. Unfortunately, I am not one of the best simmers, so I don't know how to make it a functional sitting area, so it ended up just kind of being more of a showpiece of the window. But I did add those nice green cushions. I messed around with seeing if a radiator would fit there, and I think I ended up switching it out to just a table. But like I said before, I like plants, and I decided that the library would probably try and hide their trash can. I don't know, but we added some more tables here, added another little bookcase. Ended up going with this table that's honestly beautiful. I don't know why I don't use it more often. And it just kind of wraps it all together. Yeah, that door just had to go. It did not fit. I was so happy to see that they had those little librarian carts because it really, in my opinion, brings the whole build together. It makes it feel so cohesive. So I added, I think, another one upstairs, but otherwise, I imagine all of the librarians getting the returns in the front would try and restock from here because this is where the majority of the bookcases are, and it's just chef's kiss. Don't worry, that little kid area will be leaving us shortly, I promise. So if you are someone who likes to see the exterior part of the builds, we had the ADHD moment and switched back to exterior because nothing I had before felt like it was fitting, and I decided I have to finish it up and make it all work together. I really do wish that I could have made the green work because it is so cute, but we do end up switching it out in a bit because I just love that original door. I believe I went back to the original door. I'm watching along with you guys right now. I can't remember, but I felt really clever when I did that little like side archway. It made me very happy in the build. Every time I save the game is me getting so tired and exhausted and having no clue where to go with it and taking a slight break. So if you're keeping count of how many times I've saved, let me know. I kind of gave up. Yeah, there's another one. That window just fits so perfectly. I can imagine myself cuddling up and reading a book in that corner. I'm so sorry I saved so much. This is another one from the high school years pack, and I love this like bathroom tile. I wish I had this in my bathroom. It's just so pretty. Now, this is the library computer room that I was talking about. Once again, trying out so many different lamps and lights, but I did end up going with this beautiful werewolf pack like desk, and it fits so well. I only did the 3 like desks, but I think that's really enough. I've never really seen a lot of Sims at the same time on computers, so feel free to add some more if you decide to download this for yourself, but I think 3 should be good, right? just didn't fit inside of this room, so I ended up moving it, right out here, so that the little desk area in there can be completely separate. And then I wanted to continue these large windows that I used earlier, so I had to size up the walls as well. I seriously considered keeping this sign in because look at that. Who wouldn't want that gnome? But I did end up taking it out and instead doing that sign that you see down below from the high school years pack. It just felt more library to me, even though I would love buff gnome in the front of the library. It just didn't fit what I was going for. And of course I got sidetracked and decided to add in those tiny small details to the exterior. Honestly, this part kind of took me a bit to figure out what I wanted because I didn't want to add something too big, but also I wanted it to be like they would still get sunshine and all those great things. So I debated back and forth on whether to just make a normal roof over the front door or to keep that, and I think I end up keeping it, but if you don't like it and you want to switch it over, feel free to. At this point, I just was switching out a bunch of different plants and trying to decorate with plants because that's what I always do. Who wouldn't want more plants? I did decide to have a little bit of a skill building area up here, so we added in the gardening, we added in the piano, and the painter's easel, as well as the chess tables. And yes, another book cart. And like I said before, I did change all of the staircases. Just, it felt better this way. And while not making everything a carbon copy, I did try and keep the same style to all of the floors. And I don't remember what I was trying to find here. Something in one of the packs. But apparently I really wanted it. To be honest, I don't know why I was so gung-ho on having that little shelf. In like every library, there's always photos of people that helped make the library what it is today, that sponsored millions and millions of dollars into giving all of us access to libraries. So I had to add some of those photos. was around this time that I realized I need to turn it into a community lot, and I couldn't find the library at first, so I was turning it into a garden, and then I was like, wait, I think I'm on the wrong thing. It needs to be... There you go. There you go, me. We found it. We found the library. I did add a few skills just to make the library a better place for people to come and build and learn at. Since I didn't really have to worry about budget on this one, I spent a lot of time adding in all of those extra pieces to help make it feel more cozy and warm. Which of course involved also adding a bunch of woohoo bushes. Have fun with that. And this is the moment I realized I never made a roof. I don't know why I hate doing this so much. It's just, it never looks right. I wish I could figure out how to make this look natural. It just never does. It was at this point I think I remembered that it doesn't matter if you have the solar panels and everything because it's a community lot. I don't have to pay the bills. So that's when I decided to start getting rid of a bunch. Or maybe it's bush time. I'm going off of muscle memory here, okay? But even I can't remember what my ADHD brain does. what happened there was I started looking over different photos of libraries in different buildings and got some inspiration for the roof because it's my least favorite part, okay? I am trying my best. But honestly, I don't think it came out too bad. It kind of slopes the two together, even though it's not perfectly aligned. I did the best I could, okay? You can try and fix it if you want, but I'm taking it. And that is kind of it. This is the whole build, everyone. It is a one room book room, and then you have one little room. I think I'm adding a few windows right now, but honestly, I think this is the whole build, and I love how it came out. It looks so beautiful. It really has a lot of my style to it, which is very just green, and it's my favorite color, okay? I stick with what I know, and apparently I know a lot of green. But I love it. I'm so excited to add this into my world and have my Sims play with it, and I hope you like it as well. And if you have any suggestions for a future build, please do let me know, because I would love to hear what you guys are loving or hating about what I'm doing, because this will probably end up being a series. But yeah, that's it. Please help me by liking, subscribing, leaving a comment below. If you do hashtag Death by Bobby, you can find this on the gallery. Bye!